I'm Johnny Scoville. This is just a podcast. You know, this is going to be an interesting one. For the channel in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, the channel turned 6. And I've been saying a lot. I've said probably pretty close to 500 times now. It's almost the number of challenges I've done. Where I've said I have issues. This is Chase the. And it's funny, I've had people ask me over the years what my issues are. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, if you've been around for a while, then you know some of them. I'm going to talk about them a little bit right now. I'm going to bare my soul a bit, as it were. You know, when I started the channel, I used to drink a lot. I don't drink anymore. I'm sober. You see the days. I don't know how many days it is unless I look at the app I've got. I'm sober 3 years, 5 months, and 28 days. And when I started the channel, I was drinking a lot. The first time I said I have issues, I'm sure I was drinking that day. That wasn't what I was thinking when I had issues. I don't know why I said it the first time. I really don't. I just kind of said it. It stuck. It wasn't planned, I promise you. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to say this and make this a part of the show. It just sort of happened, you know? Man, my shoes. Let me fix my shoe here. All right, so... but one of the issues I struggled with from the very beginning, and to a degree, I still struggle with it now. Early on, let me back up. Early on, one of the struggles I had was, you guys see me in such a beautiful light. I'm not, you know, listen, you've made me a better man. You know, I've done all I could to try to become closer to the version that you guys see. You know, I want to be worthy of how you guys see me. And early on, I wasn't. Man, I was so far. I'm still not, you know, listen, I don't think there's anybody as good as you see me. You guys are wonderful. But early on, you know, I remember doing live streams or something. I'd turn the video off. I'm just being really honest with you now. I'd have a live stream, I'd have a cup here with beer in it. You guys didn't know? Maybe somebody knew. My brother would know. My mom and dad probably would know because they, you know, they know me really well. But I'd stop the video and I'd read through the comments and I'd end up crying. Just being honest with you. Because I was so far from what you guys thought I was, and that killed me. It really did. It was a struggle. I don't struggle with that so much because I'm a better version now. I'm the best version now that I've ever been. I love little voices like that. I'm a lot closer to what you guys think I am than what I was when I started the channel. But one thing that's very weird, and I'm going to be on my brother's channel, The Lifeboat, talking about some of the seedier stuff that I've gone through. When that happens, I'll let you know, but it's probably not going to be a show for kids. You know, because I did a lot of nefarious things when I was younger, it's sort of like anybody that does things like that. It requires you to live two lives. You got to keep the two very separate. You know, the people that thought I was a good guy, I go to church with my family on Sundays, and then over here I'd be doing things that, you know. So I had, you know, I did a lot. I really did my best for a lot of years to fly under the radar and not get noticed, you know. And you know, when you start a YouTube channel, you don't, there's so many things you don't think about when you start a channel. You don't think about, hey, what if it actually becomes successful? You know, you don't think of trolls. There's a whole lot of things you don't, how is it going to change my life? You don't think of any of those things. I didn't, you know, I just kind of started making videos and throwing them up. But, you know, getting recognized is an odd thing for me. It's a double-edged sword because I'm thankful for it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's if I get recognized, I get recognized a lot. If I get recognized and somebody sees me, and I'm at a pepper festival or a hot sauce festival, should be on that plane, or a Zest Fest or something like that, then I understand that most of the people in that building, or the majority of them, know who I am. You know, so I'm at a function like that, every 5 seconds somebody's coming up, and you know, and I get that. It's a chili expo or whatever, so that, you know, it comes with the territory. But what I struggled with early on, I still, you know, I'm getting better with it, but is when I'm somewhere completely removed from the channel, from any hot sauce event or pepper event. and somebody notices me. I remember really distinctly the first time it happened. I was in an HEB in San Antonio. It was Christmas Eve. The channel, I started October 19th, so the channel was not old. So it's absurd that I got recognized. I probably only had, it was Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, I hit 100. So it was right at 100, okay? Followers, people that were part of this. So in the grand scheme of things, the world's a big place, you know? So the likelihood of bumping into somebody that knew I was is like winning the lottery, you know? The odds are very slim. And I was buying a beer. A 40-ounce beer, let's be honest, I'll tell you the truth. And I hear this person say, Johnny. And I heard the name, obviously, but I didn't really pay any attention to it. Because I'm in a grocery store. No one had ever recognized me out somewhere before, you know? And then it got loud. They said, Johnny. It was a woman's voice. I kind of heard that. I was like, man, you think they're talking to me? And man, the third time she said Johnny, it was like she took that Johnny and threw it right at me. She's like, Johnny. And I was like, I turned around and there was this young woman in the grocery store. And she said, I can't believe you shop here. This is where I shop. And I was floored. I was just like, she goes, you're Johnny Scoville. I went, yeah. And she said, it was crazy. It never happened to me before, you know? I think anybody who's ever been recognized will remember the first time. And so she says, can I get your autograph? Another first. Nobody ever asked me to sign anything. So I said, sure. I didn't have a pen. And she pulled out her receipt and she asked me to sign it. And she got a pen from one of the cashiers and I signed it and gave it back to her. And as I did, the guy behind me, he was up next in the aisle. He said, man, can I buy your beer for you? I said, no, man, but thank you. So I looked at the person behind the counter and they said, who are you? I said, nobody. She said, man, that person just asked you for your autograph. Who are you? I said, trust me, I'm nobody. I bought the beer and went home. And it was really weird. That hung with me for days, you know? And, you know, and what happens, I think, as a content creator or anybody where this sort of thing starts to happen, is you realize, because listen, one of the cool things about YouTube fame, for the most part, is it's only when this camera's on and you're looking at it, you know? But when it starts seeping into life, like every aspect of your life, you know, it becomes weird, and it's been something I've had trouble, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle dealing with it. And again, I'm super thankful for it, because I was a telemarketer in a phone room 6 years and a month ago. I was. So, you know, if it weren't for that, I'd still be in that phone room. And I was good at the job. I was the best at it, but I hated it. I didn't even hate it. I was good. I had a good attitude, but I wasn't going to make any more money. I was at a dead-end job. So I'm very thankful for it. But at the same time, it's, you know, it's interesting. And I don't think it's something I'll ever get used to. I think there are some people that were meant to be famous. I'm just not sure I'm one of those people, you know? You know, then a couple of the times people have recognized it really had a profound effect on me. I've told the story a few times, but more than likely, if you're watching this, you probably haven't heard it before. But I was flying to some event somewhere. I've been to so many in the last 6 years. It's been like 8 or 9, I can't remember how many countries, 8 or 9 countries, and just a ton of different events. And I was in Houston International Airport catching a flight. I don't remember if I was going there or coming home. I don't remember. But it was wintertime. It's not ever really cold in Texas, but man, it's like a refrigerator in the airport. They kept it cold. And I was expecting to be somewhere warm. Where was I going? So I had shorts on and a t-shirt. And it was chilly, you know? And there was bad weather. And the worst part was, it wasn't any bad weather that people in the airport could see. We're like, look outside, there's no bad weather. What are you talking about? So they canceled our flight. And they said, so I'm waiting to find out when there's gonna be a new one. It was a 24-hour delay. So I was like, wow, you gotta be kidding me, 24 hours. It's like a huge delay. And I've had some layovers and some, you know, that was a brutal one. So, you know, they made over there probably was 200 or 300 people that were in the same boat that I was in. You know, men, women, families, kids, the whole 9 yards. And the person got on the loudspeaker and said, listen, I'm sorry about flight, whatever, to going wherever. It's been canceled. They told us about the new flight 24 hours later, so they had a bunch of unhappy people. They said, we're going to try to provide hotel rooms for as many of you as we can. So I was like, it'd be nice to get a hotel. I don't want to sleep in an airport, or just, who are you going to sleep? You're not going to sleep. It's a city for 24 hours. 24 hours. So that came and went. There were no hotel rooms. So my frustration level was starting to climb. I'm starting to feel like caveman mode. I'm going into like, my caveman DNA was rising to the surface. I was getting upset, and I shouldn't have been, But then they said, we know it's cold. We're going to provide blankets for you all. And maybe another hour went by, and mind you, there's like 200 or 300 people there, right? So they show up with blankets, and there may have been 50. I didn't get one. It was cold. It was really cold. I mean, you couldn't see your breath. It wasn't like a walk-in freezer at the back of a restaurant. But boy, it was chilly, Way too chilly for shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm saying, I'm cold. I'm not going to get a hotel room. Then they said, well, we're going to feed you guys. So I'm like, we're 0 for 2. So I wasn't sure how this feeding us was going to go. About an hour later, they show up. Maybe half hour later, so it wasn't an hour. But they show up with two people show up with maybe 10, maybe 20 pizzas. Maybe 10, I wouldn't say it was 20. Maybe on the high side, it might have been 20 pizzas. Two people, pizza boxes this high. They put them down and spread them out over a table. And it was like piranha descending on a carcass. People were everywhere. In 2 seconds, there were pizza boxes empty. It was such a rush. It was crazy. I didn't even bother going up there. I didn't even get it. I wasn't into it. So I was like, I was so upset at this point. At this point, I'm on the verge of snapping, and I shouldn't be that way, but this is how it works, and that's how I am. I'm getting better, I promise you I am. So I stood in line, and it was a long line, and I remember this distinctly. It was pretty close to an hour I waited, and I was gonna, not nice to touch, I was gonna give them a piece of my mind. I was so upset. First the flight, 24 hours, no hotel, no blankets, no food, and a freezing airport. So I was, I wasn't happy. So I waited in line, and man, it was my turn. And this woman behind the counter says, "Can I help you, sir?" And I said, "You sure can." And I was about to just lay in with a tirade. And I felt this little tap on my side. Not up here, but down low. I looked down, because I knew not to look up. It was down low. So I looked down, and there was a little boy. He was probably 8, between 6 and 8 maybe. And he went, "You're Johnny Scoville." Wow, I have to tell you, that was like one of the most profound moments of the channel, not on camera. You ever hear the expression, don't meet your heroes? Because your heroes in your mind, they're these amazing things. And when you meet them, you're like, oh man, they're just like me. They're just a jerk, And if this kid had waited, honest to God, if he had waited maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds, his image of me would have been just destroyed. Really, just shattered. The mom grabbed her son. She goes, "You know this man?" I had to go down really far. I just looked, look at me. Shorts and t-shirt in wintertime in the airport. So he goes, "Yeah, Mom, it's Johnny Scoville. I watch him eat peppers." So we had this long layover. So I went and sat down with the mom and his son, and we talked for a long time. The whole time we were talking, I was talking mostly to the mom, because she was really engaging. The little boy, his eyes were this big. And so I had a tube of terror with me. So I took a tube of terror out, and I signed it, and I gave it to his mom. I said, "Don't let him eat him. Please don't let him eat them. They're stupid hot. It's going to hurt him if he tries. But this is a cool little souvenir for him, a memory." And that was such a profound moment for me. And that day, I felt like everywhere I go, there's a camera on me. I'm sitting out here outside my apartment. I feel like up there's people looking. There's a camera somewhere. And it made me realize that no matter where I am, there I am. If I had a nickel for every time I've been, recognized, it's insane. I was recognized once at the local grocery store, just a mile and a half that way. This guy goes, "Johnny," it's weird. It's really strange. How often do you like to people walk up and tell you who you are? That never happened to me until I started the channel. People walk up all the time. Not so much at shows, because at shows they know I'm Johnny Scoville, they know I'm there. But if I'm out somewhere, they're like, "You're Johnny Scoville." I'm like, "You betcha." So I was telling you, man, I forgot where I was going. I don't remember which one I was. Oh yeah, I was at the grocery store. So this guy goes, "You're Johnny Scoville." I said, "I am." He goes, "Man, I shop here too." And I flashed back to the first time that happened to me in San Antonio. And he goes, he was so loud. And listen, I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing. So I'm never a complaint. You understand? But he said, "I can't believe you shop here." So he was so loud that within a couple seconds, people from both sides of the aisle came down to the end to see what was happening in this aisle because they knew something was going on. After that happened, I kind of did my shopping, and he sort of followed me around. I know he followed me around because when you go shopping, what are the first thing they say when you get to the counter? Did you find everything okay? I always say the same thing. I know it took me. I walked 2.5 miles to find these 6 items. I didn't find everything okay. So I went through an aisle, and I realized I needed something that was in an aisle I already been. So I doubled back, and he followed me. So I knew he was following me. So we get outside. This is a true story, you guys. We get outside. If you're seeing this, you have to, I'm not knocking you, okay? Please don't be offended if you happen to watch this and you're that person. Please don't be offended. However, person walked up to me. As soon as I got outside, he goes, "Johnny," and he shook my hand. He's like, "Man, do you mind if I ask you a favor?" And I would have bet the destination of my soul he was going to say, "Can I get a picture with you?" Because the picture has replaced the autograph. Years ago, you got autographs to prove you met somebody. You know, and even then, he didn't sign that. You know what I mean? So now it's the picture, it's the selfie, and everybody's got a cell phone. So I just was sure this guy was going to say, "Hey man, can I get a picture with you?" So I said, "Sure." And I was getting ready to, get in a picture mode, And he goes, "Do you mind if and please don't be offended if you see this, but he goes, "Do you mind if I look through your bags and see what you bought?" And I'm sure he saw my face. If you probably did. I'm sure he saw my face change. My jaw almost hit the floor. I went, "Huh?" And he goes, "Can I look through your stuff?" And I said, "Why?" Why? I just couldn't believe it. It was just kind of odd to me. And he says, "I've been watching you for so long. I feel like I know you, but I think I'd know you a little better if I could see what you bought." True story. And if you're watching this is what I told you. Remember, I said, I don't drink alcohol. There's some fruit in there, some cereal, some veggies, and some frozen meals. I'm a bachelor. But thanks very much. I think I had razor blades that day, too. And that was it. And then, but so that part of what I do, I don't think I'll ever get used to. I think part of it is because I spend like I said in the beginning, I spent so much of my life living a double life, and I don't now. Please, you have to believe me, I don't. I pass any drug test any day. But because I kind of did some nefarious things when I was younger, a lot of my life, I was kind of flying under the radar, trying not to get noticed. And now, man, I'm just noticed a lot. But it makes me, what it makes me realize? It makes me realize, like Brad Pitt, okay? Think about, he's Brad Pitt. He's famous, right? Every time Brad Pitt goes outside, I don't care if he goes to the most remotest island, I don't care where he does his shopping, I don't care where he goes. Every time that dude goes outside, it's like my experience when I'm inside a Pepper Festival. Everybody knows me, everybody wants a picture, everybody wants to talk, and it's cool, I get it. However, to have that kind of fame, I couldn't do it. And I really don't think I could do it. I'd lose it. I understand how people, and I'll never do this, because that kind of fame is never going to happen with what I'm doing. Thank the Lord. But I got to tell you, if something like that ever, I understand why people just duck out and just drop out and just disappear. I get it. I swear I get it. I guess one advantage, the day that I retire from doing this, and don't worry, it's not anytime soon, but I can just shave this off and most people won't recognize me. But, it's just, I'm trying to get better at it. It's just, it's really weird. I know that I'm really a nobody in the grand scheme of things, but I seem to get recognized a lot for a guy who's a nobody. And it was really funny when I went to Zest Fest this past weekend. It happens every time I go to a festival. The closer I get to the festival, the more it's going to happen. I know that the minute I walk in, every time I'm in an airport, I get noticed, at least once or twice. Every time. And so I got in the airport, Charlotte Douglas International Airport, getting ready to head to Zest Fest. And right off the bat, "You're Johnny Scoville." I said, "I am. Thank you." Took a picture with him. And then I land in the airport in DFW. I land in DFW. And it just started right away, And please understand, I'm not complaining, but for a guy who's lived, I think most people, I could be wrong, but I think I don't know if there's ever been a study on it, but I think the majority of people that find some sort of notoriety or become noticed, it happens a lot younger than me, you know? They didn't spend their whole life trying not to be noticed. You know, I have no regrets. I'm thankful, but that's some of my issues. It really is. You know, it's not a bad thing, but it's a thing, man. It really is. And you know, when the Netflix happened, you know, it's happened so many times. I saw you on Netflix. You're that Pepper guy. People that watch the show will just say, you're Johnny Scoville, they want a picture. But people that sell this on Netflix, they usually aren't Pepper people. And they'll say, you're that Pepper dude. So when the Netflix thing happened, you know, there was a lot more people that were noticing me, and not going to tell you what's happening right now, but I'm doing something right now that's inevitably going to create more of that. And there's a catch-22, as you know, with a YouTuber that's feeling what I'm feeling. It's a wicked catch-22 because, in one sense, I really want to be more successful. I want to reach more people. I want the Pepper community to grow. But with that comes a lot of the stuff that it's uncomfortable. It's not bad, like wearing a pair of shoes that don't fit, but it's a little awkward, you know. And I am getting better at it. I promise you, I am. I'm getting way better at it. I'm getting so better at it, I can walk through, like when I was at Myrtle Beach, I was walking somewhere just to check out some chili or something, and I can feel heads turn. You know what I mean? And I look over and somebody's got their camera up, you know? And I can kind of feel, where was I? Well, I was with my partner, David Foy from Blazing Foods. We were at a drag strip race. I've been recognized with him 100 times, but I was with him at a drag race. Like, you know, two car. It was a very cool event. It was cool to be there. But I was there, and some dude's like, it was really funny. I'm walking with Foy to the parking lot, and I see this guy way over. He's looking at me, he's pointing. He's got a friend, he's going, I said to Dave, I said, we're about to get a picture taken. He goes, what do you mean? I said, that guy over there notices me. He knows who I am. He goes, you sure? I said, yep. And please understand, never bothers me. I have never said no to a picture, me signing something, or stopped to say hello. I've never done that. And when someone says, like when I was in Dallas, someone says, you get asked the same questions. Like, someone that was with me for the day said to me, you know, I've been with you all day. I've heard that person, somebody ask you that question 20 times a day. You ever get tired of answering it? And no, man, I don't. Here's why. You can say something a million times, but the million and first time you get asked, guess what? That person didn't ever know the answer. I can't say to them, I've answered that question. Come on. I'll never get tired of answering questions, you know? It's an honor to be able to do what I do. When I was in, I'm gonna kind of end on this. One of the cool things is, see, I think when, I don't want to say fame because I'm not famous. In the chili world, I kind of am. But when fame or notoriety comes to a person, or success in that kind of media or whatever, I've noticed that one of two things usually happens. You'll either get a big head and you start thinking, man, I deserve this. And you start believing the hype and believing the things people say about you. And you start thinking, I did that. I did it. I did that. And you get a big head, and I don't want to know people like that, you know? I really don't. And I don't think you do either, right? Ugh. But I've seen YouTubers with 20,000 followers act like that. I'm not making it up. So the other thing that it'll do when you get a little bit of, you know, recognition is it's going to rivet your feet to the floor and keep your head out of the clouds, and it makes you so humble. And that's why I have trouble. Listen, you know what? If I had a nickel for every time somebody, either in person or in a comment, called me a legend, the next 5 flights I take would be first class. I promise you that. I'd have a lot of money. And I have trouble with the legend thing. And part of it is that I know legends. I know a few. I'm an older guy, so in my lifetime, I've encountered a few legends. And that, you know, my experience with an actual legend is what tells me I'm not. I met Ali. I knew him enough that he knew my name, all right? Muhammad Ali. Charles Bronson. There's a bunch of really famous people that I've known, you know what I mean? You know, it's very interesting. They never acted like that. You know, when I was in Zest Fest, I met Bumblefoot, Ron Thal. Ron is one of the coolest guys. He really is. I doubt he'll see this, but for those of you who don't know, they call him Bumblefoot. You know, they're a guitarist. Well, I'm a hack. I really am. I'm not supposed to be playing guitar, but I play in it because it brings me great joy. But there are great guitarists. But then there are prodigies that are just next level. I don't want to say God tier because I'm a believer, but I mean really next level. You know, and Buckethead is a great example of one. There are a bunch of great ones. They really are. But Buckethead's one. Let me see. There's one. I'm going to make sure I get his name right. Give me 1 second. Hang on 1 second, guys. Boy, this is irritating me. No. God almighty. Sorry. Guthrie Govan. Next level prodigy. But honestly, Ron is that. Ron is there. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because I met the guy. He played lead guitars. He's with Sons of Apollo. That was his band. But he played with for like 6 years, maybe 8 years. He played lead guitar for Guns N' Roses. And when he took over Bumblefoot's Buckethead spot. If you know who Bucket is, but he's just so next level. And the reason I'm bringing his name up, he's famous, and you know he's been all over the world. But he's so real and so down to earth. He's a wonderful, good guy, but a wonderful example of how to handle that. So he's like a role model for me. I look up to him for that. But I just want to take a minute and tell you, I've been saying for almost 6 years now, I've got issues, but I've never really addressed what those issues are. It isn't drinking anymore. It isn't substances of any type. So I've kind of shared with you the issues that I got. Now, all of that said, I'm going to do everything I can to make the channel bigger and better so we can reach more people and get more people eating peppers, because it's a beautiful thing. You know, and inevitably, you know, the recognition and people recognize me is going to happen more and more. And I'm hoping, I've been talking to, I have somebody I've known since college days who's a psychologist, and I might be getting in touch with a psychologist to talk about it, talk about how to deal with it. I think, one of the reasons I can't accept the legend thing, let me explain to you. This hit me on the plane. It was a profound moment. I had my earbuds on, listening to a thunderstorm. No music, I was just listening to a thunderstorm, I was trying to relax. But it hit me, and it became really clear. Like, every step I take, there's a V in the road, all right? I'm either gonna go on this side or I'm gonna go on this side. And when someone says you're a legend, like, this side is a good side. It's being humble and being thankful and grateful and just shocked that this is happening to me. I'm so lucky. I really am. That's this path. On this path is the big head. I think I deserve it. The arrogance, okay? The kind of personality you don't ever want to know. I feel like I've had people, so many people said, embrace it. You got to embrace this. To me, this is the good road, this is the bad road. Embracing it is on this road. Accepting the word legend, the moniker legend, that's on this road, and I just can't go down that road. I can't. I'm thankful for that. I never will be able to go down that road, ever. I can't take a step. So what I figured out in my head, for me to forget the legend thing, but for me to embrace what's happening, which I probably should, I've got to figure out how to either make just one step on this path seem okay, which I can't right now. I just can't. I can't take a single step down that path. I can't. You understand? I can't. Or somehow get the embracing for me to see it on this path. And I just can't do that either. So that's what I'm wrestling with. But it was a profound moment. I got off the plane. I was like, man, I figured it out. I know why I can't take legend. I know why I can't embrace this. That's the reason why. So I'm going to always try to stay on this path and be, just a good guy and be, I love the fact that anybody who's ever met me will tell you he's just like he is on the show. I'm never going to change. I'm never going to take, I promise you, this is my promise to you, I'll never take a step down that path. Okay, but I have some with mentors like Bumblefoot and some really great people that I know. Like LA Beast is a great mentor, but with some really people that have attained fame, with guys like that as mentors, I'll never go down that road. And if I never can figure out how to get embracing in my mind on this road, I'll never embrace it. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing it. But I love each and every one of you. A lot of you went over to my brother's channel, The Lifeboat, and subscribed. Please get on The Lifeboat. If you have a substance problem of any type, if you have a gambling problem, a food or a sugar addiction, smoking, it doesn't matter what it is. I promise you, he's a special guy, and this is what he was born to do. And just so you guys know, every single night I watch my brother's show. My mom watches my brother's show. She doesn't watch mine, but she watches my brother's show, and he takes 2 days off a week. On the days that he takes off, I go back and look at older videos. They're amazing. So I love you, Tommy. I'm proud of you. Boy, you don't know how proud of you I am. And I love all of you. Anyway, I'm done. I just wanted to kind of get real with you and tell you some of the things that I have never shared with you. So there it is. In the description box, you'll see all the normal stuff. Get you a tube of terror. I'd love to see you eat one. Right there is the pepper. If you click the pepper, we're riding together. If you don't want to miss a video because this is your thing, like it's my thing, then click the bell for notification. You'll see a Dropbox, select all, but visit us a lot. I'm gonna throw Tommy's channel, the lifeboat, in there. I was able to do it. I still can't do, I don't know what the deal, if they change the size, because I think it's amount of information, bytes or whatever. I don't know if Legal Fire has changed, I have to ask people at Legal Fire, but I figured out how to get my brother's, so right here is my pepper, right here you're gonna see my brother's channel. Give him a follow, this is what he's made to do. Right here, more videos. Man, I love you. I'll never go down that road, I promise you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville. This is just a podcast.